Hey guys, it's Abby. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions and review on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. There has been loads of controversy over this palette. There have been people that have absolutely loved it, there have been people that absolutely hated it, and I think there's really no one in between. It's either one extreme or the other. Today I will be sharing my thoughts on this palette as I try it out for the first time. But if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe so you can check out my other videos when I upload. Just a quick disclaimer before I continue the video. I noticed when I uploaded the clips to my computer after I had finished filming that the shadow underneath my lower lash line really transferred in the wrinkles that I have under my eye. And I'm not sure if that is because of just how the shadows were made, or if it was because it was unusually hot in my room and my face had started getting a little oily because I was not able to turn the fan on or open a window because of filming. So I'm not sure exactly what the cause of that is, but I just wanted to mention that. And other than that, let's just hop right on into the video. Okay, so this right here is the palette, and I already ruined it because I got some powder on it. But it is a very velvety, soft texture, just like the Modern Renaissance palette. As you can see, the front of them are very similar, and so is the back. And if we compare, let me take this brush out. If we compare them side by side, they're practically like identical, just different shades. So basically you can see the similarity between the two, which she said is what she was going for. But I absolutely love this palette, so I'm excited to see how the other one compares to it. I have swatched all of these, and I can say that they are very pigmented, but other than that, I have not used them in any other way. So I think to start out, I am just going to be taking the brush because I've seen lots of people complaining that there is a ton of fallout. So I'm just going to take the brush and I'm going to go into a shade. Let's go into Roxy, and I'm just going to tap. And I just tapped very lightly a few times, and you can see my brush is full of pigment and there is a lot of fallout. I'm not sure how well you can see that on camera. I will take my phone and I'm going to do a video up close because my camera does not autofocus well, so I will do that and I will do it up close so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here I'm just going to I will take a clean brush. I'll be taking a clean brush and I will just tap into New Wave. And I'm just tapping very lightly, and you can see the pigment that came onto my brush and how much fallout there is. So I'll just flip that brush over, and on the clean side I will do one more. Let's try All Star. I'm just going to tap very lightly, and you can see all of the pigment and how much fallout there is. Personally, I don't mind if it's really that good of a shadow, then I don't mind a little fallout or anything, because basically the quality of the shadow makes up for it in the end. But I will see how these shadows actually work on my eyes and see if the fallout is just a minor detail. So to test this out, I'm just going to be doing the same thing that I do every time I do my eyeshadow. I'm going to be priming with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and blending it out with a damp Real Techniques Beauty Blender. And I don't show it in most videos, but then I also go in with my Coty Loose Airspun Powder and this brush right here, and I just set the concealer in place so the shadows blend out better, and so the concealer does not crease. So I'm going to be doing that, and I will do it on camera just so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm going to be doing that, which is, like I said, what I do every time, so I can see how well the shadows compare to other ones. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So since I already know that these shadows are pretty pigmented, I'm going to start in with a light hand. So I think today what I want to do is maybe a like blue and red look. So I'm thinking I will focus mainly on All Star and Axis, and I guess we'll see how well this works out. So like you saw, I already primed, and I am just going to be starting out with the shade Dawn, and I'm going to use that as my transition shade, so I'm going to apply that to the crease. Yeah, once again with a lot of fallout with that shade too. Just going to be lightly buffing that into the crease. And I'm also going to be blending that slightly above the crease as well. Personally, I'm seeing that these don't necessarily blend out as easily as the Modern Renaissance shades. I think I'm going to go in with Roxy, and I will put that also in my crease and then put it in the outer portion of the lid. And I'm just going to take it on that same brush that I just used. So next I'm going to go in with the shade All Star, and I'm just going to be applying that in the outer portion of the lid and blending it into the crease. So I won't be applying it directly to the crease, just blending it into the crease from the lid. I'm just going to take like a tiny bit and tap off the excess, and we'll see how pigmented. That's not too bad. I don't want to go in with too much and then have a hard time blending it out. It's really pretty. So I'm not gonna lie, these are slightly difficult to blend out. It's not a huge deal. It's not as difficult as like, I don't know, like one of those like cheaper eyeshadows that you might find that's like impossible to blend out. It's not like that. It's definitely not as blendable as the Modern Renaissance palette, but I do believe this is a different formula. I don't mind, but it does take a little more work. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, I'm going to be taking my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and doing a half cut crease. And I was planning on using the shade Axis, but I'm kind of tempted to use the shade Adorn and maybe put Axis under the lower lash line. I think I'm going to do Adorn in the half cut crease and then Axis in the lower lash line. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to speed through this part a little bit because I've done half cut creases many times, and also I want to focus more on the palette. But basically I'm just going to take this little tiny brush and dip it in my my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm just going to go and cut the crease, and I'm just going to do it halfway. You'll see in the footage, but like I said, I'm just going to go a little bit faster through this than usual. So next I'm going to take a slightly larger brush, but basically the same shape, just like I said, slightly larger. And I'm going to take the shade Adorn, and I am just going to be applying that right over the concealer. I like how that applied to my brush. Ooh, and I like how it's applying to my lid. Okay, so next I am just going to be going back into All Star, and with like the tiniest amount, I'm just going to be patting it over Adorn where it meets All Star, just to kind of blend it to make sure there's not as harsh of a line. Okay, so off camera I'm going to be quickly applying the rest of my face, and then I will come back to do the lower lash line and do the final first impression. Okay, so I also applied Black Magic Lashes in the style Luminara, and so that is what I'm wearing on my eyes. So now I am going to be moving on to the lower lash line, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking Rowdy, and I am going to be applying that to the outer quarter of my eye. And then next I'm going to be taking the shade Axis, and I'm going to be applying that to the rest of the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to be taking this brush right here and going back into Adorn, and I am going to be popping that into the inner corner. Then for mascara, I'm going to be applying the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara in Carbon Black. Okay, and then I also just took a little teeny tiny brush and my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk, and I applied that to my waterline just because I wanted to brighten it up a little bit. Okay, so my final thoughts on this palette. I will be using it again. I do like it. There is a lot of fallout, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, but the shades are absolutely gorgeous. I know, like I mentioned at the beginning, there was a lot of controversy over this palette, but other than that, I think these are very good quality in terms of pigmentation, so I don't really know what else to say besides the fact that I do like this palette and I will be using it again. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!